we are still talking about office etiquette, and this is Tea or Coffee on High Impact Television. Yes, we are live on Facebook. Let me keep reiterating that because I want you to drop your comments and join in on the conversation. It's quite important. The topic once again is office etiquette. And yes, just before, while we were on the break, we're talking about a particular habit that I had.
Yes.
And thankfully, I have been able to work on it, and I'm better for it, thankfully. Yes. And that is, you talked about that's greeting.
Yes, greeting.
Greeting your colleagues at work.
Absolutely.
Yes. So
you definitely will get some people that will walk into the office and not greet anyone. And most times they're not even aware that they don't greet. You may greet them and they just blank you. They don't answer. And it's very important that you're self-aware that the fact that it's very simple, it's courtesy, and it costs nothing. But a lot of people are like that. They just walk into the office, they don't look around themselves, they sit down and they get on with work, and people greet them, they don't even hear the greeting, or they just don't respond. And I'm wondering why that is so, because it doesn't cost anything to say good morning.
You know, it's actually when I started doing it consciously, and I realized, okay, even when you're not having such a good morning, and you say good morning, it somehow even lifts your spirit.
Absolutely.
And then the person smiles, and it just changes the whole situation, and then you're in a better mood.
It's better, and that should be the culture of any organization. Just say a simple greeting, whether you like the person or not. Just say hello, you know, or good morning. And then when you see authority as well, you greet them nicely, and that's as good as it gets.
Talking about greeting, it just reminded me of a scenario where someone greeted her boss, saying, I think she wasn't in the right mood that morning, and then she just came like, good morning, raised the eyebrow, and
wow.
And the boss said, you know what, it is better for you not to greet me at all than what you just did. What is wrong and all? So there are times where your emotions, that might probably not be you, that might probably not be the kind of person you are, but something went wrong at that point in time, and then you're taking it out on others.
It's like being a very good leader. You're the boss, and many things go on in your life outside the office, right? Different situations. So as a boss, as a leader, and even as a colleague, you try to leave all your inhibitions behind, all right? Don't put them on your face, because if you do, you're going to be quarreling with everybody, actually, and it will show. Maybe she was going through something that particular day. As much as possible, you try to put those things behind you and get on with the day, because, it will affect your productivity. It will affect your performance, and it will affect the way you come across to everyone else. People will think, what's wrong with her today? And, you're not going to start telling everybody your problem, but you almost have, just by your countenance and your behavior. Etiquette is really about how do you come across to people? What do you leave in the minds of people when they see you? How do you land, or how do you come across to people? When people say something consistent about you that is positive, then you're doing something good. But if someone says something about you consistently that is negative, it means you need to have a mind shift, a mind change, and you have to start reacting, reinventing yourself and discovering what you can do better to make yourself a better person.
All right, so let's talk about the relationship between an employer and employee. Should there be a limitation to how you relate with your employee?
Without any doubt, there's going to be caution in anything that you do. Your behavior should always speak to professionalism and speak to the fact that you will know when you're doing right or wrong, all right? You know when you're going overboard, and you know when you're actually trying to look for favors or you're doing eye service. You will know yourself. So it speaks to you as a person, your personality and your character. But of course, at any point in time, when you're regarding or talking to your boss, you're not going to treat that relationship the way you're going to treat your colleague. Although in most offices today, it's an open platform. We might even call ourselves by first name, but we still accord respect to our authority or to our direct bosses, and you do it in a professional way. You're not going to do it in a way that you're looking for favors, because it's not going to help in any way. Be merited on anything you do. Do it with merit, But again, of course, when you're talking to your boss, I keep saying do it with caution. Remember, you're talking to your boss. Don't shout at your boss, or don't come across as if you know what you're doing and you want to disregard some guidelines or so. Your boss is there to guide you, to, advise you. Your boss is also learning from you, by the way, but don't come across as if you must always have your 2 cents. In a meeting, how some people, your boss is there and you're arguing and you want to have your 2 cents and you want to make sure that what you are saying is heard. You're already becoming rude because you're forgetting the fact that people around you are more authorized to come across and say, at the end of the day, who's going to make the decision? It's still going to be your boss.
Yes.
But cut across to as if, I know what I'm saying, I'd like you to hear, I have this point. And before you know, your boss is like saying, you know, might not tell you, but they're like, okay, this person is, we'll talk about this a little further. Or this person is making sense. You know, not all bosses come out and tell you immediately. Yeah. But then again, as a boss, it's very important to acknowledge when an employee is doing well. You know, credit them for the good things that they have done, credit them for the contributions that they have done. It's only going to make that person more motivated to want to contribute even more. But if you dampen the spirit of the employee, talking about relationships now, or you take credit for what they have done, you're just killing the vibe and again, setting out yourself for disrespect. You know, so it's about working as a team, even if you're the leader, if you're the boss, you know, let people be warm and be accommodating, you know, be approachable. That's very key. People will recommend you because you're always smiling, you know, you're always coming across nice and people like you. If you come across warm, approachable, and you know, open door policy kind of thing, people will always say, I recommend this person. Or if we're trying to analyze who has been the best employee of the month or something, people will mark out the positive things about you. And it means be yourself all the time. Don't try and be a wannabe. Don't try and be someone else. You know, bring out the credits in you. Let things about you stand out. You know, I always say sometimes have your own signature. It's very easy to pinpoint somebody who comes across as a latecomer, never smiling, never engaging, never talking. When there's a meeting, they're on their phone. You know, they're not even listening to what is going on. And you're wondering, hello, what are you bringing to the team? You're always engaged in your own thing. You know, but sometimes too, it's good as a colleague to tell your colleague that is not doing well about certain things. You might not say it there and then. You might pick a moment or a time and say, you know, don't take this wrong, but, you know, I just feel as a friend, as a colleague, I just wanted you to know about this.
That's where constructive criticism comes into play.
But doing that has actually caused some kind of
it's the way
issues between colleagues, because at the end of it all, they stop talking to each other, and you feel, okay, this person is just hating, or this person just has issues with me. Yeah,
because I know of a lady who, incidentally, she's always dressing up very nice at the office, and some people took offense that she's always dressing so nice. Or where are you going? Do you think you're going to a party's office? And she's like, I'm being me, you know. And she, at some point in time, she took it on, you know, badly. She actually blocked them all from her phone and all of that. And I thought, you're not helping matters. No. Just let people know this is you. You know, and she said eventually when she opened up and, you know, she heard everything that they had to say, she said, this is me. And guess what? People have learned to accept that this is her style, this is her image, this is her person. And they now appreciate her. You see, so sometimes it's about you being you. And don't be a hater in an office, you know. Appreciate everybody for who they are. We're all different. We come from different generations.
Yes.
All right, there's a young, there's a old. We come from different backgrounds, different religions, different countries. We must learn in an office environment to accommodate everyone, even those that are disabled.
Okay.
I really agree with you, because I've had situations of I am older than you when it comes to age. You don't talk to me that way. Who are you to talk to me? I have 20 years experience. You just have 2 years experience. Why would you talk to me like that?
And
I'm like, hello, we're earning the same salary within the same
in office etiquette, we actually teach workers to accommodate all generations. All right, whether they're old enough to be your father or young enough to be your daughter, it's an environment where we are a team and we need to work together to achieve the common objective of that organization. And that's where the office etiquette comes into kindness, consideration, courtesy. We need to learn to accommodate everyone.
I used to think was the right thing, that is, treat people the way you want to be treated.
To a large extent, that is true, by the way.
Okay, but you are of the opinion that you should treat people the way they want to be treated.
No, it works both ways, right? Okay. Don't do what you wouldn't have someone else do to you. Okay. That is true. At the same time, be mindful enough and self-aware enough to know what is right from what is wrong. So Of course I know. If I greet you, you're going to like that. Of course. You don't need to tell me that. I know that it's right for me to greet you. At the same time, if you don't greet me, okay, I'm going to take offense of that. So I wouldn't want to do that to you. Okay. So it's important. It works both ways. Treat people the way you know they should be treated, all right? And don't do things that you don't want other people to do to you. And it's really you know, it's a case of we're all human beings. Okay. We all live on the planet together. No man is an island.
Yeah, we have Lola from Lagos. Hello, okay. Lola.
Hello.
Hello.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Yeah, I have a boss that always loves eye service. So if I have a boss like that, how do I have to be promoted in a case like that if I have to do the right thing and my boss loves eye service? Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you so much, Lola.
Thank you, Lola. Interesting. Eye service. Now, is it in favor of you or not? Maybe in favor of other people. You know, if it sounds like she's saying it in favor of other people, and therefore, no matter what she does, he sees other people and credits other people. I would just say that goes on a lot in organizations, but keep doing what you are doing and doing it well. Why? Most of the decision, it doesn't come from one person. You might think that your boss is not noticing you, but guess what? Other people are noticing you. And when it comes to decisions of promotion, it's not just one person. If we're doing an appraisal, like in my office, yes, your team lead or your head of department will give you some element of appraisal, but that's not the final decision. Other people will see what you are doing and will credit you for that. You'd be surprised how some people get promotion and they're wondering, wow, this difficult boss is because other people have seen some of the good works that you have done. So Lola, keep doing what you're doing and do it well. Some other people are noticing you. Don't fall for the eye service thing. Do what you think is professional and stay true to yourself.
Okay. Now let's go to
office parties.
Oh, wow.
Because, you know, I watched you talk about that, and I would really want you to expatiate about what and how should you behave in office events.
Interesting. Yeah, you know what? When it comes to office parties, sometimes if you don't get to see the MD or the chairman of the company on a regular day-to-day basis, it's at the office party that you will finally see them. Be mindful, they have heard about you. All right? They might not know you very well, but it's at those gatherings that even me as a senior executive, you begin to notice and begin to watch the attitude and behavior of most of your staff at such places. It's an informal environment. Most people don't really know that they're being watched. So in an office setting, to start with, they've told you that the event is happening at 6. Don't go and strolling at 8 o'clock. All right? Because you would have missed most very important announcements at the beginning. This is not a show of, I've just arrived, see me. This is a case of, this is an office environment, this is an office function, and it's still supposed to be taken very seriously, all right? Even if it is the end of year party, don't stroll in late hour, you know, because time is of essence. And when you take things like this in a lackadaisical manner, it means that when we give you projects, that's the attitude with which you're going to take it. Same thing as well. Be mindful when you go to office parties as well. You know, they say loose lips sink ships, meaning be careful what you say. Again, the walls have ears. Be mindful of how you talk in such places. You know, but it's a time for networking. It's a time to get to know more people in your office environment. And it therefore goes to say that when it comes to alcohol, there will be alcohol at parties, right? But don't go beyond your limits. 1 or 2 is the max in an office environment. I have seen people lose their jobs because they drank too much at a party, and before you know it, they were saying things that they shouldn't have said. They were dancing in a way that was, you know, it was discrediting, it was disreputable. And sometimes some office parties, you're not the only ones in that party. You have invited some VIP clients, you've invited some guests from outside. So how you behave at the office party matters. You're not there because of the food, so don't go there and pile your plate up as if it's all about the free food. You're really there to network. Yeah, you're there to network, to get to know other people that are around there. So sometimes I even tell people, eat before you go to an office party, so that it's not about the food.
Yes.
You're right. So if you go to a cocktail, remember a cocktail is a cocktail. So don't go there thinking that you're going to get pounded yam. You're going to get finger food. And because some people go to finger food parties and they're like, is this what they're going to give us?
Yeah.
You know, it's a cocktail. It wasn't meant to be for the meal. It was meant to be to socialize. So eat before you go to office parties to make it not about the food, but about the people. So timing, the way you dress as well. The office environment is not the case where you're going to go and wear your mini skirt or whatever. Be mindful of how you go to those office parties, because again, a lot speaks to you as the individual. You might be somebody on the weekends, and when you go to the office, you're a different person. But still, look at how credible you look in that outfit. Look at how approachable you look in that outfit. And look at how, you know, respectful you look in what you're wearing. It's very key. And an office party, no matter how that office, even if it is a retreat, you still have to dress up nicely. Even if we say casual or business casual, make sure that what you're wearing looks decent, looks appreciative and approachable, and acceptable is the word. Acceptable to your profession, acceptable to the people that you know. You don't want to go and wear something that's showing all your cleavage. Even if you are comfortable in it, does it look acceptable? Will I get all eyes staring at me? And don't do the attitude of, well, I couldn't care less, you know. It's about, actually, decision makers are going to be here. I need to be mindful of how I behave, how I conduct myself, and how I appear. And the way I communicate as well. It is not the time to have an argument with somebody. It's the time to really have good conversations. It's not the time to talk down and say, she's getting fat, or rumor mongering, she's putting on a lot of weight. Or you see a colleague and say, you're really putting on a lot of weight. That's a bit too direct.
I mean, you know, some people need to hear this.
Yes, they need to, honestly.
It's a bit too direct. Still have empathy. How do I land on you when I'm speaking to you? Do I sound too loud, or do I come across as a little too blunt? You know, I still need to respect the fact that we're work colleagues, and I should take cognizance of the fact that if I say something that is hurtful, I should know that it's hurtful. Some people say things that are hurtful, and they still, it doesn't come across to them as having said something that's hurtful. That's why I said empathy is important. How would I like things to land on me, and how would I land on other people? It's good to have an idea, you know. In the same office party as well, really, what are you talking about? What conversations are you having? So you might be a banker at an office party that is not your organization's office party, and you're meeting another banker. You don't want to go and say, so how much are you earning? We have the same position, you know, you know, that kind of thing. That's too confidential and it's too open, you know. And it's also not the time to try and do the eye service that we are talking about. We're in an office environment and we see some important dignitaries there. This is not the time to start flashing your card unnecessarily, unless you are having a conversation, you're marketing the services of your organization, or you're marketing a product. You're having decent conversations with people. Those office parties are networking environments. You should be selling your service or your product as best you can. You don't flash your business card unless it's necessary. All right? And when you're giving your business card, you're giving it with intention so that people value you as well as the card. Why? You don't want people to throw it in their back pocket or at the bottom of their bag or trash it. You want them to say, you know, as you're giving them the business card, you're actually saying, so it would be lovely if we can have an appointment. Could I call you in the course of the week so that we can fix up or firm up something? Let there be a to-do action when you're giving your card. Don't give the card for the sake of it. Say, I'd like to call you. Would you mind if I send an email as a follow-up? That kind of thing, so that there is a follow-up after the network. That's very important.
You know, there's this popular saying of, that's the way I am.
That's my kind of person.
That's because I know, especially when it comes to, you talked about phone conversation, having not to reduce the volume of your voice when you're talking. And then they say, that's the way I am. I just have a loud voice.
No. I know a senior executive who lost his job because his voice is very fast. Before he, you know, lands on one statement, he picks up another. And he's extremely fast. And he was one of the board directors in among a board that had some expatriates there. So they were already struggling with the accent. And then the pace of his voice was too fast, so they're struggling. And they said it several times, slow down your pace so that we can hear you, so that we can understand you. When someone's telling you that, it means go back, reminisce, and take action, caution. He didn't do that. It wasn't long after, you know, telling him several times that they had to drop him because it's a case of, old habits die hard. I understand that. It takes time to retransform yourself, because it's a habit.
Yeah.
And sometimes when it's a habit, you're not even aware when you do it. So when people are saying it one too many times, it means it's something that needs for you to change. So it's very, and don't go about saying, that's the way I am. If somebody has said it, and somebody has said it, and somebody has said it, you need to at least go back and take action.
Thank you so much.
Interesting conversation so far, I must say.
You can join us tomorrow for another exciting episode of Tea or Coffee.